how should one go about seeking God in a way that doesn't demand a supernatural wonder? How are we to know God if He's not gonna sit down in the chair across from us and be like, "Hey, I'm God. Nice to meet you." How are we supposed to kind of engage with this being that is so beyond us?
It's a great question, and some people might not like this answer, but I'm a Christian and I think Christianity is true. So I would invite somebody who's open to this to just say, consider reading one of the Gospels. And I love Gospel John. And just ask yourself, who is this person, Jesus? Where does his authority come from? What do you think about his teachings? Why has this man who had a public ministry, maybe 2 to 3 years, and who didn't write any books or have any government or military power and probably traveled, I don't know, 100 to 150 miles in his life, why do more people call themselves followers of him than anyone who's ever existed? What is it about this person? And what's interesting is most other religions want to claim Jesus for themselves. Buddhists will say he's enlightened. Hindus will often say, well, he is a incarnation of a god. Muslims, it's canonical to Islam that he's born a virgin, lived a sinless life, and performed miracles. Many New Agers, many atheists have respect for the person of Jesus, even though they obviously don't think he's God. I would just simply start there. Of course, you can look at some of the evidence from science and philosophy, and in some ways, it's a cumulative case to me. And I think the weight of the evidence points in the probabilistic direction of God existing. You can't prove it, it's not certain. And some people are more inclined towards scientific arguments, philosophical, historical. So you got to know your own kind of proclivities, but also don't think it's just an intellectual quest. Our relationships are a part of it. Our emotions are a part of it. Our will is a part of it. Jesus said some pretty radical things about what we do with our time and our money and our bodies and our words, our lives, calls us to something radical. And so there's a proverb that says, I think it's Proverbs 25. It says, the purposes in a man's heart are deep, and a person of wisdom draws it out. So for somebody who's seeking, I would say, consider praying or talking to others and really trying to ask, what is the root of my objection to God? And our tendency is to say, well, it's just intellectual. And that's certainly a piece of it. But I found there's often so much more at play than that, and try to get to the root of what that might be, and then be willing to address it accordingly.
Hmm.